Everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the iPhone 16 and compare it against the iPhone SE 2020 model and see which particular phone is a better one for you. Now, in almost every single scenario I could probably think about, the iPhone, SE2 isn't as great of a phone as the iPhone 16, right? The iPhone 16 is significantly better, but if you currently own an SE2, is it worth it to go up to an iPhone 16? Let's go and find out. But if you want to pick up iPhones that I probably would recommend buying and I can find for the cheapest prices, links will be down in the description. You can get them from there and you can help support the channel at the exact same time. Now, starting off with the outside of both these phones, the iPhone SE 2020 model came out back in 2020 and it was an interesting device, right? I think it was a good phone when it first came out, but it quickly became kind of a weird deal. I don't really think this is one of the first iPhones I'd recommend people to buy anymore. But even back in 2020 when this iPhone came out, I don't even think this was the best iPhone Apple could have made for that price, to be honest. On the front, you're basically getting a 4.7-inch Retina IPS panel on it. So it's a okay panel. It's an IPS panel, 60 hertz, right? It's pretty thick bezels on it. You have the home button with Touch ID here. It's a fairly outdated panel. You're missing out on things like Face ID, no OLED display, and no high brightness. You're not getting the dynamic island, like lots of bezel. There are a lot of reasons why this type of panel may not look like the best thing ever, to be honest. So just kind of keep that in mind. With the iPhone 16, on the other hand, this phone I would definitely tell you is a better phone for sure in almost every single way you can imagine. The iPhone 16 is giving you a 6.1-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display. So this type of panel is significantly better in almost every single way. One, you're getting the dynamic island, which is very nice. It is a 60 hertz panel, so it's not the best thing ever, but it's still better than the iPhone SE2, even though that one has a 60 hertz panel too. This one just feels smoother. You're also getting things like very small bezels on it. It's an overall really good phone still, and it does get brighter than the iPhone SE2 as well. So definitely keep that in mind. For the rest of the bodies, you can also kind of see what else is going on. So when you look at both these phones, the iPhone SE2 and the iPhone 16, they both have volume buttons right up here. You are getting the action button on the iPhone 16, which is a really nice thing to have. The iPhone SE2 does not have it. At the top, you're not really getting anything. On the bottom, you're getting a Lightning port on the iPhone SE2, but the iPhone 16 is giving you a USB Type-C port. So this is a pretty big advantage right here, because if you're able to get that USB Type-C port right there, that is in and of itself a super, super nice thing to have. And I, for one, I'm a massive fan of having USB-C. It's a really big difference for sure. The camera button is a nice to have feature on the iPhone 16. I don't think it's as big of a change as the USB Type-C port, but it's still nice to have, I guess. Getting the power buttons right up there, which is really, really cool. And that kind of covers it up on the outside, right? There's not really anything else like super insane going on here. You're just getting a dual camera setup on the iPhone 16, single camera setup on the iPhone SE2, which I think is really cool. But definitely the iPhone 16 is better. Frosted glass back on this phone, iPhone SE2 standard glass back. MagSafe capability on the iPhone 16. You're getting better feeling phone, IP certification on both. But definitely on the exterior, it's not even fair. I think the iPhone 16 is a significantly better phone in almost every single way than something like the iPhone, SE2. So from that side, that kind of covers it up there as well. Now, in terms of the software longevity, both phones are still supported with software, and they're probably going to be supported with software for a couple of more years. The iPhone 16, is definitely going to last longer though. Like if you're going to want the longer lasting phone in almost every single way I can imagine, the iPhone 16 is basically going to be the longer lasting one here. So I can't really think of any scenario where I would look at and be like, okay, the iPhone 16 is slower or it's not going to last as long. That's not going to be the case. So just kind of keep that in mind. Now let's go and do a speed comparison between both these phones. The iPhone SE2 had the Apple A13 body chip inside of it with 4 gigabytes of RAM, where the iPhone 16 had that Apple A18 chipset inside of it with 8 gigabytes of RAM. So let's go and see which one's a faster phone between both. Okay, there we go. All the apps are cleared out in the background, as you all can tell. So let us get into it. Phone calls 3, 2, 1. Okay, already pretty big difference. App Store 3, 2, 1. And one thing I definitely want to demonstrate too is that clicking this home button to go back home does kind of lag the system a little bit, right? Like it's not an instantaneous click. It's like a little bit more annoying. So if I go and hop out of here, for example, so much faster on the iPhone 16. Settings 3, 2, 1. It's a pretty big difference there for sure. Hopping out of here, Mail 3, 2, 1. And once again, I'll demonstrate it. I'll go out at the same time. So that case wasn't that good. Apple TV 321. So I'm just able to see really, really big differences here for sure. Camera 321. Okay, and we haven't even really loaded into like any big application. So the fact that that's already happening is pretty insane to me. Facebook 321. Okay, I messed that one up a little bit. I tapped on this one a little bit faster, but even then I don't think it would have been that big of a difference. Stack 321. So I don't know what happened there. I had to tap on it on that one. So in this case, we'll just let it load up. It's just like too many things going on. So let's hop out of here. Let's hop out of here. And then let's get into this one. Any gameplay differences or anything like that, let's go in and see. And I don't really think there's going to be anything massive. And you can see that's kind of that one. Hopping out of here. Let's do Netflix 321. And more or less kind of, there's a difference there as you could have told. Snake versus Block 321. And in this particular situation, again, the iPhone 16 is the faster one. iPhone SE 2 a little bit slower. Getting into the actual game, let's see if there's any big differences. And there might be some, but nothing super crazy. Hopping out of here, let's do Thank You 321. And within this one, again, the iPhone 16 was so much faster here. So basically, as you could probably tell, in almost every single way, whenever you go ahead and play a game here, whatever app, whatever thing you're using, it's going to be a faster experience. Now, once you're in the application or once you're in the game, it may not be the biggest difference in the world, like both are fairly good. But if you're wanting the faster phone overall, it's definitely going to be the iPhone 16, and it's really not even that close. But especially from a camera standpoint, like the camera quality on something like an iPhone SE 2 is definitely, not going to be as good as the iPhone 16. The iPhone 16, this dual camera setup, wide and ultra wide camera versus the single wide angle lens, you're definitely going to be, you're getting 4K at 60 on the back. The iPhone 16 is giving you 4K at 60 on the front. The iPhone SE 2 is only giving you 1080p at 60. So keep that in mind. I don't even think it's 1080p at 60, I think it's 1080p at 30. So that is a pretty big disadvantage. Now with something like the iPhone SE 2, this type of camera is good. You have a couple of zooming in, zooming out capability, but not as much. Video mode, slow mode, time lapse. You're getting panorama mode as well. But you're missing out on some of the key features that something like the iPhone 16 has. So this phone is missing out on a lot of features here. On the iPhone 16 though, you're getting a much better camera. First of all, you're getting this camera button, which is really cool. So just within this camera button alone, it allows you to zoom in and zoom out, which that in and of itself is really cool. You're getting things like video mode, obviously cinematic mode, which is a really cool feature. The iPhone SE 2 does not have it. Slow mode, time lapse. You're getting portrait mode, spatial mode, panorama mode. There is a lot of good stuff here going on for something like the iPhone 16, and it's definitely a significantly better camera than the iPhone SE 2. And I will probably tell you, the iPhone 16 is a significantly better phone in almost every single way than the iPhone SE 2. There really isn't any area where I would look at with something like the iPhone 16 and imagine that this phone is better. I think in almost every single way you can kind of think about, the iPhone 16 is a better phone. Better display, better cameras, longer lasting phone, better battery life. What else? Better everything, right? The build quality, everything. The iPhone SE 2 I really wouldn't recommend anyone to buy anymore. It's okay for like a sub $100 phone, but beyond that I wouldn't recommend anyone to buy. But if you don't want to go up to the iPhone 16, you can also buy a phone like an iPhone 14 or even an iPhone 13 and get a really big difference, even an iPhone 12, honestly. Going from an iPhone SE 2 to an iPhone 12 is also a very big difference as well. So you can pick up those phones, a link down in the description below. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.